It's time for a little comedy, a little content, and a lot of conversation. It's the Geno Jones Show, exclusively right here on YouTube. And now here's your host, Geno Jones.
Hey, what's happening, everybody? It's showtime, and it's the weekend. It's a Halloween weekend. Halloween is Monday. I don't really do Halloween. I'm not doing a costume. Let's see. Geno, what's your costume? Put on some gear, and I'll be dressed up as an intelligent black man with a career and one of the hottest TV shows on YouTube. How about that? That's my costume. The Geno Jones Show. I come to you live Monday through Friday, 6:30 p.m. Eastern, 5:30 p.m. in Chicago, 3:30 p.m. out in Los Angeles. Please subscribe, share, like, and binge watch all my back episodes as I celebrate the month of October. As we wind it down, we have celebrated the 2-year anniversary of the Geno Jones Show, which we launched in October of 2020. Can you believe it's been 2 years? As a matter of fact, big celebration. Ronald and Ernie Isley were my guests on Wednesday. Great show. We had a lot of fun. I had Ron and Ernie, Mr. Biggs cracking up. They got some news and some breaking news. Them and Beyonce. Wait till you hear about what they're working on with Beyonce. Wait till you hear what Ronald Isley, aka Mr. Big, is working on with Snoop D-O-double-G. So go back and watch Wednesday's show. And all this week, I've been on fire. It's 11 days until Election Day. All right, early voting has already started. So I'm going to need you to vote. Vote like your life, your freedoms, all your freedoms. They've already taken women's reproductive rights. So basically, women are second-class citizens now. The state, if you live in one of those states, and this whole MAGA cult wants the entire country to have a federal abortion ban. So the entire country wants to basically, they want women's body to be state property. Protect your civil rights, your voting rights, all of your rights, your marriage rights, because this cult is coming for it all. As a matter of fact, the same crew that talk about worried about crime. Well, in case you hadn't heard, Nancy Pelosi's husband was attacked in his home, in their townhouse out in San Francisco. And according to all the reports, this dude on social media was part of that cult that I was just telling you about. So my guest, this woman, this sister, she is a force of nature. She's been a guest of mine, and she is super, super busy because it's crunch time. All right, it's like 5 minutes left in the fourth quarter. We ain't going in overtime. All right, you got to vote 11 days. There's nobody on the planet to tell you why you need to vote, who you need, let's put it this way, who you need to consider, who wants to protect your rights, give you more rights, who wants to protect your freedom, your finances, and your health, who wants to take that away, who wants to destroy democracy, and who wants a dictatorship, who wants to protect democracy, who wants to destroy it, who wants to, if they can't have their way, if they don't win elections, then nobody wins. And if they have to share power and resources with the rest of us, they would rather burn this country down. Literally, that's my take. I'm going to bring this person. Well, you'll get to hear her, and you'll get to see her beautiful face and picture there. We got her because she's so busy. I couldn't get her on camera. I couldn't get the, let's put it this way. You can hear her. There you go, ladies and gentlemen. Co-founder of BlackVotersMatter.org, along with Brother Cliff Averill. They do an incredible job. You've seen this sister on TV. You've seen her everywhere on social media. Like I said, she is a force of nature. Thank you so much, Ms. LaTosha Brown, BlackVotersMatter.org. Hello.
Hey, Brother Geno, how are you? I'm really, really happy to be here. Wish I could be there with you, but we in these streets. We got a whole bunch of stuff going on right now. We've got 11 days left for to one of what I really believe is the most critical midterm election in my entire lifetime.
And let me, LaTosha, let me stop you, because I'm gonna put it where my grandfather and brother Joe Madison would say, we're gonna put it where the ghost can really eat it all up and get it. So for all those who may be in the barber shops or the hair salons or maybe in a college dorm or where, at home or wherever, and they say, well, I've heard you all say that before. Could you please explain why this election is truly the most important election in our lifetime?
Because we're playing, this isn't about what we're used to. We're used to these elections where we're talking about what's the differences in the candidates and the political parties. While all those things are relevant, we got to be clear about what we are up against, what we are fighting. What we are fighting, what I've not seen in my lifetime, is we're literally seeing a party align itself openly, right, with white supremacists and white nationalists. So for no other reason, we can talk about the policy differences and the policy issues. And yes, we can even talk about the parties and some of the problems and even some of our critique of both parties. But at the end of the day, when there is a party that aligns itself with people who want to kill us, a party that aligns itself with people that want to eliminate, that align themselves with Nazis, that people literally who think that in some way outside of themselves, nobody else's humanity, they got to be stopped at all costs. They have to be stopped. We can't even give them any space to grow, to think that they're building any of that. We have to really recognize what time it is. There's a difference when you're in a battle and when you're at war. And so right now, what we're seeing right now is we're literally at war.
Yes.
There is a faction in this country that literally wants to take this country back 60 years, that have openly supported an agenda of an anti-Black agenda, have openly supported an effort to really be able to turn back, to lead in voter suppression, have turned back and led a whole agenda based on a big lie around the election being stolen so that they can amass power, have literally attacked every single group in this country, right? And so what we have to really recognize, we got to know what time it is. That at the end of the day, it's one thing that we talk about the policies and politics. Oh, but you can't play with my life. You can't play with my safety. You can't play with standing in a space that if you're gonna come, if you're gonna go low, I'm gonna go hard, right? That's when you go hard. And so in this moment, we have to really recognize what time it is. All of these philosophers that are sitting around saying, oh yeah, there's no difference between the two. What's wrong with you? Right? What is wrong with you? Are you crazy? That at the end of the day, yes, we can have a critique of both parties, including the Democratic Party. But let's be real clear. You have not grown up in the rural South if you don't know something about white supremacy and white nationalism and how dangerous it is, how it literally puts our very lives at danger. Yeah, so don't play with me. This ain't the season to be playing with grown folks, right? That if there's no way, you would have to be blind, deaf, and crazy not to really see what is going on. There is a group of white supremacists that seek to take over this entire political process, to seek to take over those things that create fear in our communities, to roll back time 60 years ago. We ain't going back. But if we ain't gonna go back, that means we got to go forward, which is part of the reason why Black Voters Matter, which is my organization, we launched a campaign. Our campaign, Geno, you know what our campaign is called?
What?
Our campaign is called "We Want Black Down," and you heard me right.
I love that. Say wait, that part. Say that part again.
We want black down, right? Not only will we not black down in the face of white supremacy, we're gonna black it up, right? And so part of what we're doing is we're standing in the long tradition and history of Black resistance and Black resilience and Black organizing, that we have to really recognize right now. We've got to close ranks. And at the very least, those that come for us, we got to shut them down. They got to be shut down, point blank, period. Then we literally, as we're talking, and we got to keep pushing so that we get the kind of policies that we need that can bring resources and policies in our community. But we have to really recognize that at the end of the day, what's the use of public policy when folks are seeking to try to kill you? You got to stop that first, right? And so we have to literally be able to recognize in this election, this ain't no normal election that's just about two parties vying for power. This ain't no normal election just about there's differences in candidates. There's something far more insidious. There's far more dangerous,
Yes.
far more um, intentional to take us back, that is literally on the table. And there is no way that if you are a person of any kind of intellectual ability that you don't see that. And so when we see that, what does that mean? That means we've got to respond, family. That at the end of the day, when people come at our communities, we have to organize ourselves and we have to respond. We have to get out and vote, even if that means we're voting. Sometimes I voted just to reduce the harm happening in my community, right? There are times that I vote because I literally, there's someone that I believe in, on an agenda that I believe that they're aligned in with mine, to actually be able to push that agenda forward. And there's sometimes I vote because I'm mad as hell. And those people who have come at and created harm in my communities, I feel like they need to be held accountable. You don't deserve to be in office and you coming at my children. You don't deserve to be coming in office when you're literally not looking at the health care crisis. And at the end of the day, you won't expand. You're sitting on billions of dollars in that state, and you won't expand healthcare, right? In all of these states in the South, you won't expand Medicaid because of some racist agenda you got. No, you don't deserve to serve. You don't deserve to serve when you have the audacity to create laws to make it more difficult for people with vulnerabilities, or more difficult targeted at my community to vote. No, 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 you don't deserve to be in office. I can show you better than I can tell you. So at the end of the day, what we have to recognize, this ain't just about participation. This ain't about folks' opinions. This is really about power. And when you recognize this is about power, you're going to show up in a way that you seek to get power, you seek to use power, you seek to organize power, because organized power is realized power. That's why we out in these streets.
I am so glad that you talked about power. So I'm going to let that be like a closing theme. But let me just address something off the top real quick. Listen, if you're watching me right now and maybe one of your favorite rappers, I could name check, but I'm not. But, I ain't afraid to. I've already name checked. But to save time, you may have a favorite rapper or a favorite athlete that you see that's embracing this MAGA cult, that's embracing white nationalism, embracing anti-blackness. Yes, there are black folks who you have black white nationalists. All right, all skin folk ain't kinfolk. Do not be deceived, because at the end of the day, anybody, regardless of how they identify, if they are supporting policies and people who want your demise and destruction, even if they look like you, that should be a wake-up call. So, Sister LaTosha, I heard you say something. I thought it was, everything you say is profound, but it was so succinct and it was on target. There was a song back in the 90s, like a dance song by this group called Snap, called I Got the Power. I got the power, boom, 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 boom. And I've been saying that on the show forever. You spoke about how we got the power, but there was something that you said that I thought that was such an important link, and I want you to elaborate. You talked about the first thing we got to do, we got to believe. We got to believe in ourselves. We got to believe in each other. We got to bet on ourselves. I know in Vegas, I don't gamble. They say in Vegas, always bet on black. I say in life, always bet on you. Nobody can beat you being the best version of yourself. But the first step to being the best version of you is to believe in you. Could you please speak to that?
Oh, absolutely. I talk about often that, people are looking for kind of the magic pill that's what's going to activate. They're looking for, oh, I just got to create a business. That's going to save us. Well, we got a whole lot of black businesses, right? Oh, we just need to get some schools. That's going to save us. Okay, I get you. That helps out, but, all right. At the end of the day, we can create all of those things. We can create institutions and businesses and schools, and we need all of those things. But the most profound thing that is going to transform our communities, that is going to transform our families, because it is a transformation of our mind, is for Black people, like you said, to bet on Black, for Black people to believe in ourselves. The biggest thing that happened to us, I think the most egregious act that happened to us in slavery was not just the physical toil and labor and the physical abuse, but to teach a people or to surround them with messages and make them feel, or literally seek to get them to believe that they are less than. That's the real crime. That's the real trauma right there. And unfortunately, many of us continue to hold those vestiges, right? We think that, oh, yeah, we all black. Yeah, I love black. And be the main one that every time something come out of our mouth, we criticize about black folks, right? I've heard black people say, yeah, you know, people, or I've heard black business people say, yeah, black folks just won't support you. And I'm thinking, I'll say, brother, well, who your clients? Like if you got a business and the majority of your clients are black, please be quiet. Take a seat, right? Because at the end of the day, you're not even being honest. That at the end of, yes, you may want to grow your business at another level, but the truth of the matter is your business wouldn't even exist if it wasn't for black folk, right? But we have been taught that there is something inferior in us. And
Yes.
unfortunately, we oftentimes believe it. And so even if we don't believe it in ourselves, we believe it in others, but not recognizing when I see my brother, I see myself. So if I believe that there is something inferior with my people, I fundamentally believe that there is something inferior with myself, whether I'm willing to acknowledge it or not. The only reason, and I'm gonna say a name. You ain't want to say it, but I'm gonna say a name. The only reason why Kanye West would sit there and align himself to wear a Confederate flag, brother, how you gonna wear a Confederate flag when our people were lynched with Confederate flags? How you gonna wear a Confederate flag and roll with folks that said white lives matter that literally was seeking to try to destroy? They had people on the hit list, including me, right? How, brother, you gonna line yourself with folks that have terrorized and traumatized your people for over 400 years, not only burning crosses in our yard, but literally taking advantage of our resources, our labor, exploiting our pain, exploiting our discontent? How are you going to align yourself with that? You align yourself with that because there's something in you that don't think that you are good enough, that black is good enough, that some way you got to have this white acceptance. Some way you got to have this proximity to whiteness, because if you're able to show that you can flow in both worlds, I can flow in the black world, then I can flow in the white world, that means I got more value, right? And so we have to really recognize, and I'm saying this not even a sense of I'm trying to dog that brother out, because clearly he got some cognitive issues, but he got some self-love issues, right? That you would literally align yourself with people that hate you. And I'm not talking about, when I say that, I'm not talking about all white folks. That's not what I'm talking about, because literally we're in a world that, and we're building the kind of movement that I want to build, that I am a part of. Got black folks and brown folks and white folks and indigenous people and Latinos. You go across. That's the world that I want to live in, the world that God created, not some old man-made fake world that some white supremacists have created, some hierarchy that don't even exist, that at the end of the day literally are being evil and destructive towards other because their own insecurities. Why the hell would you follow some other insecure folk? I don't understand that, right? And so at the end of the day, what I do believe is that our work is not only going to be for the liberation of black folk, that I actually believe that black liberation is going to liberate all people.
Yes.
So I actually stand in the space of blackness because I believe my blackness is a gift, not only to me and my family, it's a gift to the world, brother. Right? Like, look at how much we have been a gift to the world, that my offering, my presence, who I am, right? We're going to bring some spice and flavor and some brilliance and some creativity and innovation to anything that we're involved in, right? But we have the right to have the full human experience. Are there people in our community that are challenging? Absolutely. Are there people in our community that don't do the right thing? Absolutely. Like they are in every other community. But at the end of the day, even a duck got enough sense to look out for ducklings, right? That is, I mean, that's just a human nature. That's how a lion gonna look out for other lions, because that's who you, that is literally how you're wired. And so I am raising this because, I think that it's really important for us to recognize that when we're doing the work at Black Voters Matter, my goal ain't trying to convince you to believe in this system. I know that this system is racist. I know that it has flaws. I know that it was created on the basis of white privilege. But I'm asking people to engage and use every single tool available to them, right? Because I want them to believe in themselves. I want you to believe in who you are, and I want you to have the audacity to believe that you have the power to transform anything that you direct your energy in. I actually am doing this work in this political space, not because I think this political space is the end all and the be all. I got the audacity to believe that I'm a game changer. Now, I'm going to show these folks what a democracy looks like, right? I'm going to create a nation that my children desire, that I desire my children deserve. That's who I believe I am. I actually believe when I walk into space, the space going to shift. That's what I believe. I don't believe that out of a sense of arrogance. I believe that out of a sense of confidence, a confidence that my humanity, that God, the greater creator of everything, created me. So I got to have it going on. And so in that space, I just want our people to recognize that this is the moment that you know what time it is. And this is the moment that you got to use what measure of power that God has given you, to use your intellect to really be able to sift through what information is real and not real, right? Just because it's on Twitter don't mean it's real. Just because you saw some conspiracy theory don't mean it's real. Take the time and do the kind of work that you are feeding your mind good food, right? Food that got nutrients in it, not just something so you can just go get on a and go back and forth on Twitter or one of these social media pieces just to tear people down. That's not the point. The point is you can actually be responsible and challenge and call people out, right? We can actually call people out without tearing them down, right? And call them to their greater selves. We can call ourselves to our greater selves. So I actually believe that when there is a moment of great, when we're seeing, these particular moment where there's a lot of things that are going on and there's a lot of transition, y'all, that's the moment that you get in there. That's the moment that we get in and we shake this thing. That is the moment that we literally start creating the kind of progress that we want to see. But what I am certain of, it will not happen if we don't show up. It will not happen if we don't use every single tool that is available. Our political tools, our economic tools, our creativity, our social tools, our organizing tools. We are in a moment in time that I really think all is being called of us. Like, who are you? And what you going to do with what you got?
I told you all, this sister is a force of nature. LaTosha Brown, I love you in the truest agape sense. You have a permanent home. I appreciate you taking time. I know how busy you are. If anybody, you want to follow this sister, you want to support this incredible organization that's been putting in the work for a long time. She was putting in this work before y'all start seeing her on MSNBC and CNN. This is, she been, as she say, in them streets.
We in them streets.
Or some folks say screets. She been in them streets and the streets putting in that work. And she got, her receipts will fill up a whole house. She got receipts. Tell everybody where they can follow and support you and Black Voters Matter.
So please follow us at blackvotersmatterfund.org. We're on all the social media, Black Voters MTR. You can follow me, Miss LaTosha Brown, that's MSLATOSHA Brown, on all social media platforms. We're in the streets, riding around in the blackest bus in America. Please look us up. Please text us, text Black Voter to 25225, Black Voter to 25225. Thank you so much, Brother Geno, for having me on. I will stop by on the other side when we're gonna do us a victory party for something. Because we're gonna win something.
Yes, absolutely. So I'm gonna hold you to that. I want you coming back. You have a permanent home. So you don't even need to have a reason. You can just say, Geno, I'm coming on the show. That's it. You've got those executive privileges. I just want you to know. And when y'all roll back with the bus, I want to ride with you. You got your man. You got not the king of MCs.
All right, we got you. We got you covered.
You got the king of MCs.
All right,
LaTosha Brown. Thank you.
Good night.
Good night. I told you, man, this is really a force of nature. Let me just click that button real quick. Thank you. There we go. I had to double click. Thank you, LaTosha Brown with BlackVotersMatterFund.org. Check it out. Support her. Support the organization. Also, shout out to my man, Cliff Averill. Thank you for letting me be a part of your life. As always, God bless each and every one of you. You too. You, and especially you. And God, most of all, thank you for letting me do the Geno Jones Show. I come to you live Monday through Friday, 6:30 p.m. Eastern, 5:30 in Chicago, 3:30 p.m. out in Los Angeles. Subscribe to the Geno Jones Show YouTube channel. Subscribe, share, like, and binge watch all my back episodes. Make sure if you missed it, catch my conversation with Ronald Isley, Mr. Big, and Ernie Isley, the Isley brothers. Great conversation. Had a lot of fun. They broke some news. They're gonna tell you about some stuff. What they're working on with Beyonce, and something's going on. Ron and Snoop Dogg. I'm gonna let them tell you about it. I'm not even gonna tell you or tease you. Just check it out, and all week long, just check out my monologues because I have been on fire. But today, Sister LaTosha Brown, she had the monologue, as you see. This sister is the truth. I want to thank everybody. Groove Master Dre, I see you. Let's see. And who else is in there? Somebody else is in there. I know my mother's in there. And what's that? Is that Pasta Fun? Trying to make that out. Everybody in the chat room, I appreciate it. Everybody watching me live, I appreciate it. The next live edition of the Geno Jones Show is going to be Monday, Halloween, and my baby sister's birthday, Angela Marie Chambers Jones. And then Wednesday, my baby girl, the youngest daughter, the baby girl, Allie Jones, is celebrating her birthday. So shout out to all the Scorpios out there. Have a great weekend. Make it a Geno Jones Show binge watch weekend. You don't need Netflix or Hulu or Amazon Prime. They're cool and all. I ain't mad at them. But make this week a Geno Jones Show binge watch weekend. And make sure you see Till. Support that movie, even if you don't go. But I'm urging and recommending everybody go. And buy a whole bunch of tickets. Send the whole neighborhood, some kids, to everybody. Just buy out the whole theater. But support this movie, and then pretty soon, in a couple weeks, Wakanda Forever. We're going to be talking about that a lot right here on the Geno Jones Show. As always, be blessed. Pray for peace. Thanks for watching. Have a great weekend.
Subscribe and tune in to the next episode of the Geno Jones Show, exclusively right here on YouTube.